Today I'm gonna show you some basics of how to use or to work with Parasoft RuleWizard. To begin our explanation, I open Visual Studio 2022 IDE here with Parasoft plugin installed. And I will start by launching the Launch RuleWizard menu here. And then I will open a prepared rule in my desktop. So I'll click open and view. And in the desktop, I have three rules that I prepared: DX test 1, DX test 2, and DX test 3. So let me first open DX test 1 binary file, the rule binary file. So we see that it contains a graphical encoding of this particular rule. If you right click your mouse in any of the surface here and go to properties, and we are lead to a very important setting of this rule. This I'm referring to the rule ID naming. The convention or the use here is there should be a hyphen in this name, and the left of that hyphen is the rule's group name, and to the right of that hyphen is the name of the rule, and the rest is just I can leave it blank. This is a description of the rule and the author, Dexter or DX for short. So this DX test1.rule file has a rule ID of DX hyphen test1, means that this rule belongs to the DX category. Right now, in its current state, this rule belongs to the DX category. If we click at the description, you can see the additional information of what this rule is all about. So this rule is checking if an iteration should only have one break statement. So it's a Mesra rule specific to a Mesra. And this is a description, and this is an example code base of a violation. So we have a for loop here, and it has two break statements. So this is a violation, and this rule will detect this code construction. Okay. So again, this rule ID is very, very important. So it has a convention of being separated by a hyphen, with the left side identifies this rule as belonging to the DX category, and the right side is the name of the rule. So we'll cancel this. But then I will not describe here how this rule is being created through this rule wizard here. But you have all of the artifacts here to create your rule, so that you can drag it to form this graphical encoding of this rule. Now, I will open another rule file. Let us try to open the X test2 rule. So we can see here another graphical encoding of this rule. If I right click here, click properties, so we see that this rule still belongs to the DX category, and it has a name of test2. In the description, this rule is about uh, the the detection of whether a sharp define is used like this should be detected, and instead the corrected style it should be to use a const instead of a processor macro. Let me open the third rule that I prepared in the desktop folder, DX test3. So this rule has a name of dx test3. Again, it belongs to the dx category. It has a name of test3. And the description is, so this rule checks for cyclomatic complexity of a function. So let me close the rule wizard now. But how did I came about? Where did I get these rules? To learn Parasoft Rule Wizard, it is best to examine existing rules. For example, if you go to static analysis in effective C++, for example, and how about this one? Constructors allowing for conversion should be made explicit. And if you right click to this rule set, view rule wizard, and you should see the graphical encoding of this rule. Above here, you can see the name of the rule. You can click File menu, Save As, click into the desktop, and then if you save here, you can save this rule into the desktop. And this is how I prepared my rule. I just rename it to dx-1, dx-2, and dx-3, and then I right click into the properties here and also rename the rule ID to create to make it belong to the dx category. Here you can see that it belongs to CodeStar category. Another way to see all of the rules in Parasoft is to open to the console. So let me open a console here and go to App Data. So this is specific to the installation of the Parasoft plugin in Visual Studio 2022 IDE. If you use Parasoft plugin in Eclipse, so this location will be different. But this is for Visual Studio only. And here, I'm referring to this path here. Okay. So if you select all of the files, search all of the files having the rule extension, and these are all of the rules. Okay, a lot of them. I think we have a total of 5,092 rule files. So each of these rule binary file contains a graphical flow chart of the particular rule, as we have seen a while ago. So you can copy this rule file into the desktop and open it in the rule wizard. For example, I will right click, I will copy this one, and I will copy it into the desktop, and I will click rule wizard, open the rule, this one. This is the one that we just copied now, and this is the graphical encoding of the rule. In the properties, the rule belongs to the CodeStar category. All right, so let me go back to the desktop and let me delete the rule that we just copied. I don't want to work. This is a default rule. Okay, so I'm just going to work on three rules that I prepared: the dx test 1, dx test 2, and dx test 3. So now that I explained how did I get these three rule files here, I will now proceed to creating a rule set, an empty rule set. So click test configuration, go to Matrix and static analysis tab. So the matrix is a perfect starter template if you want to create your own set of rules. Because in the matrix selection here, it has zero selection. So I will duplicate this matrix we'll have a copy of this in the under user defined, and I will rename this test playground. Okay, apply. So now we have our test playground rule sets where we can select rules from existing rules here or add new rules that we created. We have three rules in our desktop folder with a different category ID, DX. So assume that those rules are new rules that you created. So you click the import button, click the browse, and in the desktop, I will select this DX test1 rule binary file first, open. Okay, you can see that it is populated here. The rule is now populated under category DX. Okay, it now belongs to the DX category, and that's for sure. However, the description of that category is marked as unknown, so let us correct it. In the categories tab, click new, and the category ID is DX. We already know that. And in the category description, type Dexter's rules. Okay, save. Okay, so now it's been updated, but I just want to clarify that ever since from the beginning, the DX category is already there, and that the DX plus one belongs to the DX category because the category where a rule belongs is encoded into the rule's name, into the left side of the hyphen. All right, so we just imported the first rule into the test playground rule set. So I will click import again and I will browse button and I will select simultaneously the two remaining files, open, and all of them now belongs to falls under one category. Like I said, the name of the rule has an implied category where the rule belongs because each of the rule that I prepared has the DX to the left of the hyphen. So they belong to the DX category automatically. So now that we added these rules, I will select the three rows that I added, apply, close, and then let me run a static analysis using the playground rule set that we created. User defined, static analysis, test playground. So it found three violations. First, cyclomatic complexity. If you double click that, you will be lead to the violation. You can right click, view, rule, documentation. So this is what we saw in the rule wizard. So this is the same information as what we saw in the rule wizard. This time it is rendered as an HTML. You can also see the one here being added. This is the severity level of this rule as it is being encoded right now. How about the second one? Maximum. So we have to use const. Again, right click, view documentation, and we can see also the rule ID here and the severity level and so on. And then the third one Okay, the detection of two break statement in a while loop. Right click, view rule documentation, and we can see here. So suppose we change the severity level of this one to 5. Okay, let me delete these findings and let us go to the test playground static rule set. Here, all the rules that we added fall uh, under the same category. So let me select the one, this one, single brick in the loop. Let us try to change this into a severity level of 5, for example. So click Edit, Rule Map here, and then click the New button. And in the severity selection, select 5. And then the ID of the rule where we're gonna change the severity to 5. Put here, it's DX uh, plus 1, right? There. So just click to another tab and you can save the changes now. Save. So you can see here that this one has now changed to a severity 5. So close. Let us try to run again the analysis. View documentation. But here you will notice that in the ID of the rule, it's still being marked as 3, right? Still being marked as 3. It stick to its original setting. So this is one of the reason why you need to remap a particular rule. So let's go back to the test configuration, test playground. Um, just to check, let me exit Visual Studio and open launch again, just to make sure that indeed what I think is happening is what is happening here. Okay, now that we started the IDE, let me run again the analysis. Oh, and so I'll restart, just fix the situation then. So we now have an updated severity level of the report. Let's go back to this configuration. All right, it has updated. Okay, so let me quick the setting of this one, cyclomatic complexity. Uh, um, okay, edit roll map and This one is DX test 3. Uh, while I am in the rules tab, I will click new and I will change the severity of DX test 3 to 1. So I will input here the original rule ID, which is DX test 3. Okay. When this happens, just click to the clone tab and then go back and then you can save it. Save. But in addition to changing its severity, let me map it to a new ID. The intention here, when you map an original ID to a new mapped ID, is to change the rules category. So I will map it to um, alpha, alpha dash 3. So take note that in the ID naming, there should be a hyphen because it will not be accepted without a hyphen, right? Is- For example, if I will not put a hyphen there, I'll just put it like that. See, we have an error. So we are forced to put a hyphen. So I put test 3. So by doing it like this, we're basically moving the DX test 3 to be now under the alpha category because the left side of a rule ID is its category group. Save. So now the cyclomatic complexity rule is gone from here and it's moved up here to the alpha category. But currently the alpha category has no description, so it is tagged as unknown. It exists, the category exists, but it is just described as unknown. So let us correct it. Edit rule map and click into the categories. Here is the alpha category already populated and it is currently has an unknown description. So just correct that. Just put a good description of the alpha category. Alpha alpha priorities. Okay, that's it. Save. There. So it now has a readable description. The alpha category, which is capital ALPHA, that's the name of the category, has a readable description of alpha priorities. Whereas the other two rules still belongs to the DX category. I can move this const DX test 2 const versus enum rule to the alpha category also. I will click that, edit, and then I'll just map the rule. The rule is DX test 2. I will click the new button and I will retain the priority, which is 3. I'll type the original rule, DX test 2, and then I will move it to be under alpha category, alpha test 2. Um, I can change the description to be to improve it or whatever it's you need to change, like cons is better than sharply fine. Save. So you can see here that the const alpha test2 is now moved to another category, and now only one is left in the DX category. So let me select this, apply. Let us rerun the same static analysis. This one is in alpha, also in alpha, and this one is in DX group. So that is how we create, how we work with RuleWizard, and we created a test playground configuration, and then we imported three rules here to belong to each the respective category of DX and alpha. So just remember that the name of the rule, which now I will launch RuleWizard, and I will open again the original rule file in the desktop. Here, properties. So the name of the rule is implies or already tells you where it belongs to, the category where it belongs to. So this is very important. The hyphen should be there, and the left side of the hyphen is the rules category where the rule belongs. And you add this rule into a test configuration by clicking the import button here, import, browse, and then you select the rule, right? And the rule will appear here under its own category, and where you can change the rules severity, or you can regroup the rule to another category grouping if as you wish. And in the edit rule map, you can see in the rules tab where the the original ID of the rule is changed to a new ID, still retaining the convention, where with a hyphen on the left side of the hyphen is the category group. And in the categories tab, we also see we added readable description of a category. Okay, without adding, it is automatically marked as unknown. It doesn't mean that it does not exist. It already exists, but it is just marked as unknown. So you have to edit this description accordingly. All right, so that is all for today's session on Parasoft RuleWizard.